Nagkaroon ng press conference si dating Senador Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos matapos siyang maghain ng inhibit kay SC Associate Justice Marvic Leonen sa electoral protest laban kay Vice President Lini. At dito po mga kabayan ay matinding sinagot ni dating Senador Bongbong Marcos ang taga-Rappler matapos nila gusto nitong hamunin si Bongbong Marcos kung mayroon bang mabigat na ebidensya laban sa pag-electoral protest kay Vice President Lini. Panoorin natin ang video ito.
Hi sir, yes sir, good morning. Can you see and hear me po?
I can hear you. I cannot see you. Oh, there. I can see you now. Good morning.
Good morning po, Attorney and Senator Bongbong Marcos. Sir, you seem to be really hammering on the definition of annulment of elections, and the OSG in its comments said that if the elections on those 3 provinces were to be annulled, the clear winner would emerge. So siguro you could elucidate on the process. Why didn't you file for an annulment of elections to begin with? Or why didn't you choose those 3 provinces as your pilot province?
We filed the annulment of the elections was part of our initial protest. Pero ginawa namin second cause yun kasi gusto namin unahin yan. Pero tinulak ni Justice Kagiwa, I just pushed it and pushed it and pushed it and pushed it kasi takot sila dyan sa ginawa nilang third cause. I'm not hammering on one thing or another. These are the only options left to me. And this is something that we have been talking about since, when did we file?
2016,
June. In 2016, hindi namin, yung pa rin, yun talagang gusto naming unahin is the annulment, that the PET received evidence that we're prepared to present, an evidence that will be grounds for the annulment of elections in those 3 provinces. It's not something new. It's what we've been talking about. But Justice Kagiwa and now Justice Leonen keep pushing it to the side and trying to focus on other things to distract, I suppose, from what is in fact the issue at hand.
Dagdag ko lang yung sa Rappler. Pwede nyo naman kung i-check doon sa files niyo nung aming election protest that was filed 4.5 years ago. Klaro po doon na yung aming first cause of action is the annulment of the automated election system or the declaration of the unconstitutionality of the AES system na dinismiss po ng Korte Suprema by reason of judicial economy. Ang second cause of action po talaga namin ay yung declaration of the annulment of the election results dito sa 3 probinsya ng Mindanao. Pangatlo lamang po yung manual recount and judicial revision. Nandun po yan sa aming election na protest na i-final 4.5 years ago. Ang nangyari, after ng preliminary conference, nagkaroon ng pagbaliktad doon sa order ng aming relief. Ang naging pangalawa ng second cause of action bigla ay yung manual recount and judicial revision. At naging pangatlo, yung annulment of election results. Lais ko lang susugan yung video na ipinakita namin kanina. Alam ho namin na talagang dapat unahin yung annulment of election results sapagkat mas mabilis ang proseso doon kaysa yung manual recount and judicial revision. At marahil alam din ho nang nagbaliktad ng order na yan na mas matagal yung manual recount and judicial revision kaya inuna at ginawang huli yung aming third cause of action na ngayon, which is the annulment of the election results. Wala ho kaming binago and kagaya ng sinabi ni Senator Bongbong Marcos, we're not hammering on it. Ang sinasabi lang ho namin, sa bayang pagdinig na noon pa.
Sir, can I just ask a follow-up?
Sure.
If you can po, the COMELEC also said in its comment that an additional requisite for an annulment of elections is that there must be a clear, convincing, and strong evidence showing that the protestee is the one responsible for the unlawful acts complained of. Are you ready with evidence to prove that the protestee is responsible for the unlawful acts? If ever.
Can I remind you that this is a sub judice? You're talking already about the merits.
Okay, maybe I can ask another later.
Hindi na pwede pag-usapan yan, baka ma-contempt ka.
We'll just confine ourselves sa motion na final ni Senador Marcos ngayong umaga. Mike Navarro for the second round, please. Mike?
Yes, sir. Sorry, I was muted.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. Sir, let me just go to that point. You mentioned that it's irrelevant, the failure of the elections, the declaration of failure of elections petitions in the ARM provinces is not relevant to the annulment of votes, which you raised before the PET. But your motion for technical exam, which was also your basis for annulment, you cited the case of Abdusakurtan versus Hataman. This is a local case where you cited the words of a COMELEC division. The conclusion was that supposedly the 2016 national local ARMM elections was marred by widespread fraud. Well, first, sir, in that case, wasn't it the Marcos side who actually invoked a local case, the case of Hataman, to argue in the annulment case? And also, secondly,
no. Let's answer that first.
Okay,
sir, go ahead.
Let me clear that, Mike. We did not invoke the local election case. Nagkataon lang na ang saklaw ng aming protesta, yung aming originally second cause of action, na ngayon nga ay naging third cause of action, ay yung tatlong probinsya rin sa Mindanao at saklaw din yung mga presintong involved doon sa kaso, yung election protest case 2016-37 ni Sakurtan versus Mujib Hataman. Nagkataon na parehong-pareho yung areas covered. But we are not dependent on the outcome of that local election protest. Pareho lang yung saklaw in terms of the provinces involved.
And so, sir, yung comment ng COMELEC, if I may just ask you to react, if you're going to also make the same point, no? Because COMELEC said in its comment na that case was not resolved on the merits because it was dismissed due to mootness. So how will that affect your point, sir?
It won't, because the findings of the COMELEC still stand. Their findings after conducting the technical examination in the case of Governor Sakurtan against Governor Mujib Hataman still stand. What we would like is for us to present that evidence and those findings of the COMELEC to the PET so that we can argue as to the propriety of the annulment of elections in those three provinces.
Sir, so you disagree with the conclusion of COMELEC. If I may read, sir, the commission, be it with any of its division or unbanked, did not have the opportunity to rule upon such findings or otherwise pass upon its validity, merit, and probative value. You don't agree with the comment?
Because Mike, naging moot in academic, yung local case na yun.
Hindi na nakapag-decide dahil nag-eleksyon na eh.
Yes.
And ang pakiramdam ko nga, ganito yung ginagawa rin sa akin. Na tinutulak, dinedelay para maging moot din. Again, to repeat myself, although it was not resolved, that case was not resolved, the findings, the technical examination of the COMELEC are still available and are still valid. And that's part of the evidence that we would like to present to the court. Ano bang mawawala? Let's present the evidence. Kung sa palagay nila hindi sapat para mag-anal, mag-decide sila. Pero pabayaan kami 4.5 years ito. They just refuse to accept and to receive evidence and for us to argue on that ground. That is why it is clear to me that ang ginagawa talaga ay hindi na adjudication kung hindi delay.
Do you think, sir, there is still enough time, sir? Based on your experience, Attorney Rodriguez, how long does it take for the PET, for example, to resolve, assuming that they continue with the third cause of action, annulment of elections? How long will it take? Because they're saying you have to count per every precinct, there has to be at least more than 50% of the votes affected by supposedly allegations of fraud. And that from every precinct, you go to the municipality level and the province level and region-wide. Is there enough time, sir?
We believe so, Mike. In fact, itong findings na ito, yung pinakikita ko sa inyo, all we have to do is just adopt these initial findings made by the COMELEC, and then kung ano man ang magiging ruling ng tribunal na magpresenta pa kami ng additional evidence just so to meet the 50+1% threshold, then mas mabilis na ho yan. I think may mahaba pa yung panahon basta't wala lang delay. That's why we have resorted to this very drastic move of asking for the inhibition of Associate Justice Marvic Leonen as deponente or justice in charge of the case, and for him to not to participate in any manner in this election protest case anymore.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions, ladies and gentlemen? If there's none,
wala na?
Ano?
All right. Well, thank you very much. We just wanted to come out and explain to everybody what we have done today. I hope that you take this into account, especially ang ating mga kaibigan sa press, to be more accurate in terms of your reporting as to what is actually happening. I'm speaking specifically to the differences between an annulment of an election and a failure of election. We have nothing to do with any petition of any failure of election. That's never been what we have asked for. What we have asked for is completely different. So failure of election is totally irrelevant to my case, my protest case. But having made that clear, I hope that, as I said, that Justice Leonen will really go into a period of self-examination and to see and to convince himself whether or not he has been biased or he has been fair. In my view, he has been completely biased. He has been completely partisan. He has prejudged this case a long time ago. And that is why we filed this.
At siya na nga po mga kabayan, ano masasabi mo sa isyong ito? Mag-comment lamang po. Maraming salamat!